Trump's Secretary of Defense pick got removed from the National Guard detail to the Biden inauguration because he has a Nazi Iron Cross tattoo. Is that so? Yeah, we just got our Secretary of Defense pick.
I was deemed an extremist because of a tattoo by my National Guard unit in Washington, D.C. And my orders were revoked to guard the Biden inauguration. Jerusalem cross tattoo, which is just a Christian symbol.
Is that
This is the one.
Is that the tattoo?
Yep, right here. This one is what got me disinvited. I'd never had orders revoked before. I mean, listen.
Is this guy's name again? Yeah, Pete Hegseth. Can I see, like, the full tattoo, perhaps? Wait, does he really have a Deus Vult tattoo? I like how he's like, yeah, I got removed from the detachment for my tattoo, and he shows like a plus sign, and meanwhile he has this. This is honestly worse than what he showed in his chest. Well, yeah, that's why he showed the one on his chest, presumably. He has many basic tattoos. Is this a basic tattoo? It's just like a little Pinterest one, you know. Get that straight from a flash sheet. Yeah, I don't really know anything about the chest symbol. It just looks like a damn plus sign to me. Deus Vult, though? That's pretty clear, huh? It was on the flag used for the Crusader state. That's what the Jerusalem cross is. I know a little bit about this guy. He was, I think he was like, at some point he went on Fox News and he was like, kids shouldn't be taught about climate change, which is fake. They should be taught about the real threat to the West, which is Islamic extremism. He's like a mega Warhawk, like crazy, 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 crazy far right, super militaristic. He wanted to target Iranian cultural sites. I think this guy's main oh, that's right. This is the guy who petitioned Trump to pardon those American war criminal soldiers, those soldiers who were going to be tried for killing Iraqi civilians. And he pushed Trump to give those guys a pardon. A Blackwater 2007 massacre. Are they just mercenaries?
I was tattoo, which is just a Christian symbol.
Is that
This is the
just a Christian symbol. The Jerusalem cross.
Just a Christian symbol.
Is that
This is the one.
Is that the tattoo?
Yep, right here. This one is what got me disinvited. I'd never had orders revoked before. I mean, listen, it's a standard deal. You remember after January 6th, everyone was in Washington, D.C. Like Nancy Pelosi had the parking garages full of National Guardsmen. My commander called me a day before, tepidly, and was like, Major, you can just stand down. We don't need you. We're good. I'm like, what do you mean? Everybody's there. He's like, no, he couldn't tell me. When I was writing the book, I reached out to somebody in the unit who could confirm with 99.9% certainty.
I like the dramatic music. Are we doing dramatic music for TikTok clips now?
Because he was in the meetings and on the emails. Nope. Someone inside the DC Guard trolled your social media, found a tattoo, used it as an excuse to call you a white nationalist, an extremist, and you were specifically by name orders revoked to guard the inauguration because you were considered a potential threat.
How?
Well, that's cool. Why do I not see more about his Deus Vult tattoo? Okay, I think he might not have a Deus Vult tattoo. He was just posting a clip of somebody flexing with a Deus Vult tattoo and saying that Deus Vult was the last two words of his book. Because I feel like otherwise, there would be another shot of it. Is that not his arm? I guess it doesn't really matter if he's saying Deus Vult in his books too. But yeah, the only reference to Deus Vult that I'm seeing is him. That is that one shot of him flexing. But otherwise, there'd be other images of his arm with Deus Vult on it. Why post somebody else flexing? Weird. Okay, so yeah, anyway, this guy's a massive Warhawk. So much for Trump will be the, pro-peace, anti-interventionist candidate, I suppose. Political Action Committee. He was the executive director for Concerned Veterans of America, an advocacy group funded by the Koch brothers. It always comes back to right-wing money. Like, always. You know? Every time. It's one of the reasons why you don't see this kind of organic development on the left, because they don't have like billionaires randomly dumping money on them. Fox News contributor hit somebody with an axe. That's pretty funny. Yeah, here we go. In May 2019, it was reported that Trump was considering pardoning several U.S. military service members who had been charged with war crimes, including a veteran set to stand trial for shooting indiscriminately at civilians, hitting a girl and an elderly man, as well as fatally stabbing a captured teenage ISIS member while he was receiving medical treatment. Hegseth had sought for months to convince Trump to pardon these individuals. At the same time, Hegseth was discussing these cases on Fox News without disclosing he'd advised Trump to pardon them. On November 2019, Trump pardoned 3 service members accused or convicted of war crimes. Shortly before Trump announced his decision, Hegseth suggested Trump was about to take imminent action in the cases. So yeah, he's been directly in contact with Trump for years now. Said Rashida Tlaib had a Hamas agenda. He lamented young kids voting are worried about the adverse effects of climate change. He also criticized universities for teaching students about, quote, environmentalism and radical environmentalism rather than a real threat such as Islamic extremism. He supported the killing of Qasem Soleimani, called on Trump to bomb the Iranian homeland, including cultural sites if they were storing weapons. Said Democrats wanted COVID-19 to happen. And yeah, going to be our next Secretary of Defense, one of the most powerful men on earth. Yeah, you know that this guy is a real Islamophobe for calling Rashida Tlaib a member of Hamas in 2019. That's some OG shit. He was on that game earlier. He didn't just hop on the bandwagon like you motherfucker did. So an idiot. He might just be the most Islamophobic man alive. Maybe. It's a tight race. Handsome guy, though. All that really matters these days, right? In our post-truth era. I got a video of him talking. This pic was only made recently. Do we have an acceptance on this? Has he talked about it? We have him on Fox?
Breaking news, Trump naming his pick to head the Department of Defense. That's the Fox News host Pete Hegseth. Hegseth has been a longtime staunch Trump defender. Here he is back in 2020.
This is a president who has said, I want to make America great again, and he's up against the forces of the left who believe that America was never great.
All right, so you can see exactly where he stands, and he has been consistent in that. Hegseth is an Army veteran who served in Iraq and Afghanistan, and it comes as the Wall Street Journal, of course, this hour is reporting that the Trump transition team is considering a draft executive order, which would establish a quote-unquote warrior board of retired senior military personnel with the power to remove 3- and 4-star officers that they want. Out front now.
That's cool. That's cool. I like that. Let's hear that again.
Wall Street Journal, of course, this hour is reporting that the Trump transition team is considering a draft executive order, which would establish a quote-unquote warrior board of retired senior military personnel with the power to remove 3- and 4-star officers that they want. Out front now, the Democratic Congressman Dan Goldman of New York. He also served as lead attorney for House Democrats.
Yeah, I hadn't even heard of this. It's just just a few hours ago, earlier today. The transition team for President-elect Trump working on an executive order that would speed up the firing of top military brass have signed. Yeah, so they're trying to take control of the Pentagon, essentially. I mean, technically, Trump already has control of the Pentagon by virtue of being the commander-in-chief, but you know what I mean. Why is any of this surprising to people? I don't get it. You're not cool or surprising, or you're not cool or intelligent for being stone-faced in the face of the country being eroded. Apparently, this guy served at Guantanamo. I wonder if he and Ron DeSantis explored each other's bodies over there. Warrior Board of retired generals and non-commissioned officers given power to review 3- and 4-star officers and recommend anyone lacking in requisite leadership qualities according to the document. If signed by Trump once he takes office, it could allow the quick removal of generals and admirals and purge the ranks of those the future commander-in-chief takes issue with for whatever reason. Gut the DOD, create a fearful atmosphere, all so-called woke generals purged, so on and so forth. This order could also bypass the Pentagon's regular promotion system, as those identified for removal by the Warrior Board would be relayed to the White House and then retired to their current rank within 30 days. That's pretty damn fast. What the f*** is a woke general? Someone who swears their allegiance to the Constitution and not Donald Trump. Should such a board be established, it would follow Trump's calls for ridding the military of what he sees as unloyal generals, those involved in highly criticized events, such as the 2021 withdrawal from Afghanistan, or those that helped advance more liberal policies under the Biden administration. Trump has accused Milley of going behind his back in the final days of his administration when the retired 4-star general talked to Chinese counterparts to reassure Beijing after Trump lost re-election in 2020. This is an act so egregious that in times gone by, the punishment would have been death. A war between China and the U.S. would have been the result of this treasonous act, or could have been the result of this treasonous act. I remember this, yeah. Okay, cool, great. Trump is going to do what every leftist wants to do, tear down American military power. True, we're getting outflanked from the right.
during the first Trump impeachment. He's on the Committee for Homeland Security, and we were going to talk about Governor Noem and her role there, but 10 minutes have passed, so the world has changed, and the world has changed in a few ways. First is Pete Hegseth, Trump choosing him, the Fox News host, Pete Hegseth, for Defense Secretary. What do you think?
I'm shocked, truly, and this is exactly what we worried about and we warned about Donald Trump, which is that he is going to appoint unqualified loyalists to shape this government into his own personal fiefdom and get revenge on generals and put essentially really unqualified people. I appreciate Mr. Hegseth's service in our armed forces, but
I don't. That makes me a different kind of beast, I suppose. You know, with Hegseth being made Secretary of Defense, the odds of us putting boots on the ground to invade Iran have increased by like 500%.